So this past weekend, we had another huge weekend in men's classic physique. We had 3 pro shows. Tune in to find out who won the shows and who's going to the Olympia. Brant here with CPC Bodybuilding, the best channel in men's classic physique. Today, I'm going to give you guys a weekly recap of the pro shows in men's classic physique, and then also look ahead to the pro shows as well as the pro qualifiers coming up for this upcoming weekend. So before we get into the video today, I want to remind you guys, if you are not already subscribed to the channel and following all the latest classic updates here, hit that subscribe button, and also like, comment, and share this video if you guys are enjoying the content. Follow me here on Instagram. It is CPC Bodybuilding, the exact same as the YouTube channel, posting all of the lineups, the show results, the physique updates, you name it, it's there. So give me a follow there, and also use my code with Evogen Nutrition. It's CPC at checkout. That'll give you guys a little bit extra savings, and also goes towards me, helps support me doing all the classic stuff for you guys. So without further ado, let's jump into the show results. And we'll start out with the Chicago Pro. So this was the biggest show of the weekend. We had Carlos Domar of Venezuela take this one home. So Carlos, heading into the show, was the favorite. He was my pick to win, as well as many others picked to win. And Carlos brought a fantastic package, great detail. He brings a very complete classic physique, good lines, flow, balance, very poised with his presence on stage. Carlos is very, very tough to beat, and he beat some very, very seasoned classic veterans, guys who've already won shows this year, and Carlos just brought it at this show. And I definitely think Carlos is in that discussion this year for a top 10 at the Classic Physique Olympia, given that he was 11th last year. And if you look at side-by-sides of his physique, he has only gotten better since last year. So a huge congratulations to Carlos Domar of Venezuela for winning the 2024 Chicago Pro and punching his ticket to the Olympia this year, yet again. So, like I said, Carlos was our first place finisher. If you guys want to find the results from this show, they're posted here on my Instagram page. In second place, we had Kellen Wilson out of Canada. So Kellen has just impressed tremendously this year. So Kellen won the Vancouver Pro. He was the underdog there. A lot of people had Sam Pekin beating him there, but Kellen showed up and was the clear winner at that show. And in this show, Kellen again just brought a very impressive package. You can see in this front double bicep, he just has spectacular classic shape, great size, detail is impeccable, very sharp with the condition, the fullness is there, very balanced physique, plenty of muscularity. This guy has so much potential, and I've said this in previous videos, I genuinely think Kellen could be, in his first Classic Olympia, top 15. I truly believe that. This guy has a good enough physique, and I certainly think he could do some damage this year. And in third place, we had Austin Espy. So Austin was last year's Mr. USA, and we had anticipated seeing him later on this year to make his pro debut at Tampa, but he decided to hop in a little bit early because, as you can see, he was very ready. This is a great classic structure, and he is very, very well put together, especially for a rookie. Austin is a bigger guy and is already kind of close to that weight cap, and he stood and held his own with some guys who have placed at the Olympia like Carlos, and I think he's got a tremendous future, and I do believe we're going to see him a little bit more as the year goes on. So Austin, third place in his pro debut. Camilo Diaz. This is probably the best package that we've gotten out of Camilo this year. There were a couple of shows where the condition was not quite where we thought it would be, and I think it might have been a process of peaking because he's always in shape, and it might have just been a peaking process, so like maybe just filling out and whatnot. But this was a great look from Camilo. placing 4th. In 5th place, we had Marcus Perry. So Marcus, again, has one of the best backs in Classic, has great width, great density. This was probably Marcus's, least conditioned look that I have seen on a pro stage. Outside of the Olympia, Marcus has never placed lower than 2nd in a pro show. He, going into this show, had won the Chicago Pro, he had won the Hurricane Pro, and placed 2nd at the Tampa Pro outside of the Olympia. So this guy had never been outside of the top 2 in a show other than the Olympia. So this guy is extremely talented, and his plan is to go back to the drawing board and bring a better physique next year. And Marcus has plenty of size. That's not the issue. I think he's just planning on bringing a little bit more refinements in terms of the condition, as well as just working on structural improvements as well. So Marcus Perry there in 5th place. In 6th, another rookie. We got Hamza Saeed. So Hamza was 3rd in his pro debut at Vancouver. His strengths, as you can see, are condition, lights out with the condition, great density, and he's a guy who has proven in his first 2 pro shows can hang with guys who might be a little bit more structurally gifted. So I've been very impressed with Hamza so far. In 7th place, we had Eddie Lusk, the 3rd. So Eddie was 3rd at Atlanta, 7th here. My feedback for Eddie, just in general, is that he has really good structure, plenty of muscle. I think he really just has to improve in the posing aspect of things, and really just his coach and him have to figure out what that final balance of condition and fullness needs to be. Because to me, in Atlanta, he looked a little bit better. I, again, saw him in person in Atlanta and thought he looked very, very sharp there. A nice balance of fullness and condition. I wasn't sure if they peaked the same way here, but Eddie's got a very bright future in Classic and has leveled up tremendously within the past year. So another guy that I think could do very well as his career goes on. In 8th, we had Denis Romanov. Really good condition, decent shape, and he's just not the biggest guy. He just has to continue to add size. So Denis Romanov there in 8th. In 9th, we had Aaron Owens in his pro debut. This is a guy structurally who compares very favorably to a lot of people. You can see the big lats, the small waist, the really big quads with very, very good detail. You can see every line in the quads. Very, very impressed with this guy. He just has to basically continue to add size everywhere. I think that's his just general thing. He's not the biggest guy in the world. He was Class A as an amateur, which, as you know, is the shortest class for Classic Physique. So this is a guy who, as he continues to add size, I think he will do very well as a pro. And in 10th place, we had Terrence Bonds. So Terrence was 5th in Atlanta, 10th here, though I think this lineup was definitely deeper than Atlanta. Terrence just needs to get bigger. That was his feedback from the judges. You can see the condition is there. He has good shape. Just has to continue to add size everywhere. So Terrence Bonds, they're in 10th. And that was the Chicago Pro Top 10. And we'll move on now to the second show of the week, which was the Muscle Contest Brazil Pro, which Junior Jaworski of Brazil ended up winning. So he was a guy who was predicted to probably be in that 2nd or 3rd place spot heading into this show, but really just commanded things with his size and his condition in this show. Now, if we look at the comparisons here, so this is the first call out here, the top 4, looking at this. So this is some footage from Rafael Gatto, who is one of the best Brazilian bodybuilding reporters. So here we've got Zardo there on the far left. We've got Luan Souza. In the center left, we got Junior, who won the show, center right. Then we've got Johnny Souza on the far right, also known as Joninho. So what you can see here is Junior really just takes up the most space out of all of these guys. I don't think he has the best structure on this stage, but if you really look at just completeness from a bodybuilding perspective, in terms of missing body parts, Junior is very, very well put together despite not having the best structure. He does have a little bit wider of a waist, But at the same time, if you look at his lats are just crazy, crazy big. He has big arms, big legs. And I think the lats and the arms are the two things that have come up since last year that really distinguish Junior's look. And this is one of those guys who has battled with guys who structurally should just blow him out of the water, but he controls what he needs to. He nails the condition, the fullness, and he's a really tall guy. So he takes up a lot of space. And we look here, back double bicep, again, the width is what stands out to me. He really just dominates in the width department. The ab and thigh, again, really good midsection, plenty of detail through the quads. Junior won this show because he was the biggest guy and the most complete guy. Now, what was interesting about this show too is if we go to Raphael's Instagram here, when we look at the placings, so you'll see here Junior was in first, we had Luan Souza in second, Juninho in third, Zardo in fourth, and Diego Galindo was actually the fifth place finisher here, which was a bit of a surprise to a lot of people. He wasn't in that initial first call out, and a lot of people were wondering, okay, why is Diego not in there? Because if you look at his condition comparably, very similar to the other guys. I wouldn't say he's in his best condition ever, because I've seen him sharper than this before, and I think this is probably, in terms of peaking, they went for a fuller look. However, Diego does have great shape. So it kind of calls into question what they were looking for the most here. Now, I wasn't able to see him in the initial group comparisons. I wasn't able to watch the call outs. And if I had to guess what the judges were going for here, it was they were comparing size, and Diego just did not have the size to hang with some of these other guys. Now, he is a shorter guy, which is something to keep in mind. And sometimes when you're shorter, if proportionally you don't stack up super well, compared to next to some of the tall guys, you may get overlooked. And I have a strong feeling that's probably what happened here. However, Diego has beaten some really big guys before, so I would be really intrigued to go back and look at the tape and kind of see what the judging decision was here. But again, a big congratulations to Junior Jaworski on another Olympia appearance. So he qualified back in 2022 and will now return this year to the 60th anniversary of the Olympia. And our final show of this past weekend was the Columbia Pro. So this was a show that was really interesting heading into it. We had some guys who were making their pro debut who had some really, really impressive updates, including this guy who won the show. This was Andres Taveras out of the Dominican Republic. So two big wins by Latin American bodybuilders, Andres from the Dominican Republic and Carlos from Venezuela. And what was really cool about this show, this was just like the domination by Dominican competitors. So not only did Andres win this show, the guy who won the pro card in the pro qualifier, Chris Valera, is also from the Dominican Republic, and he ended up placing in fifth place in the pro show just after winning his pro card, which is super impressive, especially with how good this lineup was. So Andres really just dominated the show, was clearly the best guy, most conditioned, most complete, and just had this crazy amount of density and fullness that these other guys just really couldn't match. So he ended up taking the show. And second was Gene Guerrero of Colombia, who was the favorite heading into this show, competing in his home country. He had battled very well with the likes of Mike Sommerfeld in previous shows, but Andres just overwhelmed him, especially in the condition department. And third, we had Anthony Barbera III from the United States. And again, Barbs, he brought a good package. He has great shape. It was just needing to fill out that frame a little bit more. I think the fullness is something that Andres had him in terms of the upper hand. So Barbs there in third, Angel Pena of Peru in fourth, and like I said, Chris Valera, the new pro card winner. they're in 5th place. So Andres Taveras, again, of the Dominican Republic, winning his pro debut and going straight to the Olympia. So very, very impressive and a huge weekend for Latin American bodybuilders. So those were the pro shows from this past weekend. Now we will actually go to the IFBB Pro website next, and we're going to look at the shows that we have coming up for this weekend. So not only do we have a couple of pro shows, we have a huge pro qualifier here in the United States. So we'll start with the pro shows this upcoming weekend. So both of these pro shows are going to be this upcoming Sunday, July 28th. The first is the Extreme Pro, held in Tijuana, Mexico. So this turns out to be a great show every single year. You see a lot of the top talent from South America as well as Latin America jump into this show. The prize money has recently been upped. First place gets $10,000, which is higher than a lot of these other shows. Second place gets just a little bit less than what a winner typically gets in classic physique pro shows typically. So a lot of guys are going to hop into the show and get their Olympia qualification and hopefully get some money to go with it. So this will be a really, really exciting show. And speaking of shows that are coming up with big purses, the Dubai Pro is this upcoming Sunday as well. This is always a very intriguing show because you get guys from all over the world jumping into this show. The prize money is the highest outside of the Olympia and the Arnold Classic. So you will see some really, really good pros here jumping into this one. And they may have actually upped the prize money. So this may actually be offering more money than the Arnold Classic. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to go back and look. Don't quote me on that, guys. But they offer a shit ton of prize money. So that's what you need to know about the Dubai Pro. It's going to be this Sunday. There will be a live stream as well. So if you guys are wanting to watch that, I'll be sure to drop that on my Instagram. And the NPC USAs are one of the best pro qualifiers in the world. Classic guys are going to go on Saturday. So we're going to be getting 8 new classic physique pros this Saturday. I'll be sure to post about them on my Instagram. And they typically offer a stream somewhere. I will look out for that as well. Be sure to post it if you guys want to watch that. But those are the events that we have upcoming in Classic Physique as well as last weekend's results. So that's going to do it for the weekly wrap up here in Classic Physique. And before I end this video, make sure you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. And then also give me a follow on Instagram. It is CPC Bodybuilding. Use my code with Evogen Nutrition, code CPC at checkout. You get a little extra going back in your pocket if you buy some supplements. So that's going to do it for the video today, guys. I want to thank you again for watching the best channel in men's classic physique. I'm Brant for CPC Bodybuilding, signing out. Make sure you guys keep it classic. See you later.